has been deleted. I forget we have 10 minutes left. Alright, we're live again. You can still hear me. You can still hear me. Pardon? Okay.
Welcome everybody to Richmond International Raceway. My name is Josh Hall. I'm joined tonight by Atlee Atman. Luis Atlee, how you doing tonight?
I am doing awesome, and I'm excited for this race at Richmond because Richmond is actually my home NASCAR track. It's very nostalgic. I've been going here since I was little, so it's awesome to see these iOS trucks turning laps here at Richmond Raceway, and I'm excited to see how things go after last race at, I believe we're at Kansas.
Yeah, it was a great race from Kansas. A little shakeup in the points, and let's get those points on screen for you tonight. As at the top of the leaderboard, we still have Colin Willems, Isaiah Gill, Logan Hagerman, Devin Buccino, and TJ Floyd, your top five. Brian Nudie is the only other one with a win in the top 10 right now. And if you take a look at the bottom right of the screen, you'll see your playoff bubble. As right now, Alan Warnecki and Gregory Froelich are currently locked into the playoffs, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily in, because we do have this race and Talladega, and we have an interesting format tonight, which we'll talk about in a moment. Brian Merrill Jr., Jacob Bowen right there on the bubble, and Dylan Redding, Michael White, Jackson Qualley, and Michael Provolt in danger of missing the playoffs. And next week we move on to Talladega, which is a wild card in its own right. But tonight, we're going to have some heat racing, which means somebody might go home. And if somebody goes home, that means that they're not going to be able to score maximum points, which could really shake up your point standings tonight.
Right, and looks like the iOS, they did what NASCAR did, where they put a super speedway with the final race in the schedule. We might could see some long shots in the playoffs if they can get a win at Talladega.
Yeah, which is what we actually saw last night, as we had a surprise winner actually in the race last night. Blake Hensley ended up coming out of nowhere. He was sitting 25th in points last night and ended up coming home with the win. So a little shakeup in the points with that happening last night. He dominated the race. He actually said he wasn't planning on running well. Won the heat, one qualifying, sat on the pole, won the heat, and then led every lap but one to win the race. So we'll have to see if something like that happens again tonight, as we do have quite a few people trying to make the show tonight. As right now you see out on your screen the 11 of Dylan Redding. Dylan,
Like, oh, pardon,
I was gonna say
go ahead.
Dylan did not have the night he wanted last night, so we'll have to see if
No.
he can come back and have a little better run here.
You already got some people getting on the board. Brett Merle in the 6 machine jumps to the top. First driver to get into the 21s with the 21.91. Stephen Black in second in that 98 machine with a 22.05. And then third, we got Brian Merle Jr. Well, now he's actually been surpassed by Devin Buccino with a 22.06. Came down to the thousandths between those two.
Yeah, and Stephen Black did not run last night in the Cup Series, so we'll have to see how he runs tonight. There's a lot of guys who run both Cup and Trucks, so some of these guys have a little laps under their belt, so they kind of know what's going to happen. You see James F. Moore now moved up to the 5th spot.
Okay. Got Dustin Dean on track right now. Past few races, he hasn't had the finishes that he'd been wanting, so we'll see if he can bounce back here at Richmond. And that Dean's Eye Designs. We got our very own Joseph Wright on track. See if any of those drivers could get onto the board.
Alan
Got
Warnecki's on
Logan
track.
Hagerman giving to 5th.
Oh, awesome. We saw Alan Warnecki just kind of catch the wall there. One of our playoff bubble drivers. And Derek Chaput, who ended up missing the feature last night. Have to see if he can get himself into the race tonight. So he comes across the line. And he's going to be in the 15th position right now, so.
Okay, Joseph Wright jumps to 5. Not bad.
It looks like he's.
Machine.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to do what he did last night and just is loose. Dave Wright on track right now as well. Round. Opportunity to warm up those tires, get the junk off them. That way Isaiah can heat up those tires, make sure he doesn't spin them on the restart. Not that we've ever seen that before or anything.
No, we've never seen that. That's not a
thing.
common occurrence.
No.
That's not a thing. Nope. You were kidding. But we will see 8 advance from this feature, so half of the field goes bye-bye. I believe. That's what iRacing says.
They'll move into the consolation race where we'll line up and try to settle who is going to make the feature. But yeah, top 8 do advance.
So let's see who those top 8 will be. Here we go. It's all on Mr. Pace Car when he wants to go in.
Pace car is going to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit lane as we approach the starting zone. Green lights, green flag. And Isaiah Gill gets a great start on Eddie Morris here.
And Isaiah Gill actually gets clear of Eddie Morris. So we got a new leader, Isaiah Gill. See Devin Buccino going low, trying to get under Eddie Morris. He falls in behind the 8.
Buccino now, Joe Wright now under attack now by the 72 of Alan Warnecki. And Joe's going to be able to clear him on that high side. I heard drivers saying last night that the high side was you could run the high side. It wasn't as good as run the low side, but you really couldn't pass on the low side. You could really get people on the high side, which we're seeing already tonight. It's Michael Provolt and Colin Willems. Willems already with some damage on the back end of that car.
Uh-oh.
As Colin gets around the outside of Provolt, and here comes the 71 of Fronek around Provolt as well on that high side.
Here we go. We're seeing some passing up there. Like it.
And already Isaiah Gill out to quite the lead right now, just over a half second. As we see Colin Willems all over the back bumper of TJ Floyd right now.
They're just setting up the pass, trying to see how he's going to get by that 49. I know he's going to try to get a run on that high side.
And here comes Fronek to the inside of Willems. See,
71 is fast.
Nick Mather says, let's go 18. Well, the 18's in a great battle right now for that transfer spot. Right now, the 71, I'm sorry, Colin Willems, the 18, is your transfer spot right now in that 8th spot.
Oh, the 66 of Sylvan Seguin goes around.
And the yellow is out. That's going to bring up our first wreckage replay tonight.
See what happened.
It looks like the 66 is Seguin just gets a little high up into the dirty stuff. And Nick Ford comes up and thought he was going to be a little higher than that, a little higher off the, closer to the fence. And they make some contact together, yeah. Also, there was another incident that didn't bring out a yellow flag. And we're going to take a look at this. Zach McBride, and I think this is where the damage to Colin Willems came from. Yeah, Zach got to the back of Willems and spun down to the infield. It did not bring out the yellow, but that's where the damage came from on the back of the 18.
Good to know.
And looks like Sylvan Seguin's got quite a bit of damage to the front end of that machine. The back end looks all right, but the front end not looking too good.
See Isaiah faking it. Got people thinking he was going on the pit road.
Yep.
I don't know why you'd go in right now. Unless you had damage, we see Zach McBride, Sylvan Seguin, and Nick Ford all going to pit road.
Yeah, a couple of guys had a little bit of damage or stuck in the back. Going to take that reset if they can, because the reset doesn't carry over to the feature. But right now, Greg Froelich in your is fighting for the transfer spot as he's outside looking in right now.
Yep, Colin Willems is trying to defend his transfer spot. He's in 8th at the moment. See how that situation develops. His lights are still on. Cassie Willems says, go Colin. He's defending that transfer spot.
But doesn't necessarily mean that if they don't transfer here, they have to go home. We do have the opportunity. Yep, we do have the consolation race, which will, I believe, a couple will advance. I'm just going to double check the format here.
So I believe it's 8 from both heat races and then 1 from the consolation.
So from what Max said today in the Discord, they'll have 8 guys advance out of each heat and 4 guys out of the B main.
Okay.
So iRacing does say only 1, but it will be 4. As we're re-racked side by side, ready to go green flag racing again. Lights on the pace car are off.
Here we go.
As the field enters slowly into turn 3. We'll see those that pace car take that hard left-hand turn on to pit road. And Isaiah Gill guns it right there, green flag. And Eddie Morris, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he spun the tires or missed a gear or was started in 4th gear, because he stacked them all up. And Joseph Wright got up into the 2nd position. We got a wreck behind as we just saw TJ.
Oh, no. Colton Kinsey.
That's going to bring up our wreckage replay here. We'll see exactly what happened to Colton.
Does it look like to do with the 49 of TJ Floyd?
Yeah, it looked like there was quite a bit of jostling back here for position. We see TJ Floyd. Actually, we see Greg Froelich taking it 3 wide down into turn 1, which doesn't always work out in short track situations like this.
Ooh, Colin Willems got a little bit of left front damage. Then he gets some damage in the back.
Yeah, it looks like yeah, TJ Floyd comes up into the 4 of Colton Kinsey. Sends him right across the track in front of Colin.
Dang.
Tough break for these guys back here, and then a couple more cars come piling in. Doesn't look like too much damage to that 4, though. It looks like he'll be able to not use a reset, just continue on. If I was him, I would just go in, get that thing fixed up a little bit, and try to race your way in. But he's on pit road right now. Let's see
Yep.
if he ends up using a reset or if he just opts to get it fixed. Nope, he uses a reset. Colin Williams, though, stayed out.
Interesting.
Yeah, a little bit of damage to the right front of that vehicle. I don't know how much damage that actually is to him, if it's going to affect him in any way. It's a short track, so aerodynamics aren't going to be as important as if we were at, say, Talladega or, you know, even a place like Charlotte or last week at Kansas.
Absolutely.
So again, this race will be 15 laps or 10 minutes, whichever comes first. And looks like we are 8 minutes into the race. So we're going to have about 2 more minutes left before the checker flag flies. So
They won't make it.
yeah, I don't think they're going to make it, but we should have another attempt at the green flag to see if anybody can overtake Froelich for that transfer position. As right now, Froelich is your transfer spot.
The drivers in the hunt for the transfer spot, Michael Provolt, Dave Wright, and James F. Moore, thirsty to try to get into the 8th spot.
Don't forget, you got Dylan Redding back there as well, which he was our B-main winner last night. Again, if he wins the B-main tonight, free Pelican snowballs for everybody.
So here we go, about to go back green here. We're going to have 1 minute left to see if these drivers can finish it out. They won't, but let's see. This will give 1 minute for somebody to try to overtake TJ Floyd, who is now in that 8th spot. Here we go, pace car pulls in. We're back green flag racing here at Richmond Raceway, and jumping off like a rocket is Isaiah Gill. You see Buccino going outside of Joseph Wright. It's clear. See Eddie Morris going under Buccino.
If we take a look back at this transfer spot, Colin Williams and Michael Provolt going at it now, as Provolt has moved himself into the 7th spot. Look, contact back here as they're 3 wide.
Left.
Oh, we got a
no,
spin.
that car's going around, wrecking with only 8 seconds left. 7, 6, 5. What is going to happen?
Your
Colton
yellow.
Kinsey's in 8th.
Yep, your yellow is out. We'll have to bring up the wreckage replay to see exactly what just happened there. I think it started back here with TJ Floyd. As coming off the corner here. Oh, the 72 of Alan Warnecki just comes off the wall. He pushed up, hit the wall, came across the track down in front of TJ Floyd here. And then we also saw behind him Steven Segoin get involved, David Wright get caught up in that as well. Dylan Redding, Colin Williams. It's going to be a large shakeup here. We'll have to see exactly how this is all scored.
So I actually think that this is... Wait, is it... Okay, they're going to finish it out. This is actually 15 minutes.
Oh, 15? I'm sorry. Last night it was 10. So...
Is that all good?
Sometimes it does get a little confusing, folks. We do apologize. It's heat racing. It's new. We see 22 of you watching. We got 14 people on Facebook, 7 watching on YouTube, and 1 on the Twitch. So, again, interact with us. Let us know who you're rooting for. Let us know what you know. And thank you again for watching us on whatever platform you're watching us from.
Yep, we're on all 3, and if you're watching on one, make sure to check us out and subscribe and like on the other 2, Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. And also check out Twitter. I always got questions up this week's. If you could cover any NASCAR Cup Series track in dirt besides Bristol, what would it be? Tricky question.
That is a tricky question. Talladega.
Talladega, that's exactly what Joe said.
Oh, he said that? Okay, Daytona. How about Watkins
Daytona.
Glen? Watkins Glen would be fun.
I said Watkins Glen. I believe they've ran like super trucks at Watkins Glen before.
Yeah, those things are cool. Those trophy trucks there. Yeah.
Yep.
You also forgot to mention though that we're also on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts.
With the Intensity Broadcasting Podcast,
Yep.
which we just released number 6 recently. So, and that is on all 3 of those platforms, and also YouTube and Facebook. With our guest was actually a driver who's in this race tonight, Mr. Brian Nudie. It was a very fun interview. You learn a lot about him, so make sure to check that out. And we also talk about some NASCAR, some of the series that we broadcast recap, and you might get some interesting information on iRacing. So check that out, and we're back green here at Richmond Raceway, jumping off like a rocket or a dump truck, as Isaiah Gill.
And we're watching back here. This is the battle for the transfers. 3 wide right now as Colin Willems is currently in that 8th spot, but he's going to get passed by Colton Kinsey. There's a wreck right in front of him. Fronek goes around.
Caution.
And oh my goodness.
Gosh. Woo. Very messy. Messy.
I think we're going to rewatch that one here from the blimp because there was just so much that
There's so much going on, right?
see if I can find exactly where this happened because there was just so much to see.
So we see McBride maybe getting to Fronek.
Oh, that was the first wreck. I apologize. Let's go back to the more recent one because there's a lot of red on my screen.
Right. So many drivers involved in this one. We see Dave Wright get involved.
So actually this starts up front a little bit more with the 71 of Fronek.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're 3 wide here.
McBride.
Colin Willems just kind of gets into the back. And here comes Colton Kinsey up the inside as well. And yeah, the McBride just kind of right reared the 71, which I don't think he did intentional. It's just tight racing. And then you see,
Tagged the wall a little bit.
yeah, it looks like he tagged the wall a little bit. And then in front of everybody, Colton Kinsey goes around. Dave Wright comes in. Nick Ford involved. Colin Willems gets turned around. It's the 61 of James Moore involved as well. So we have exceeded the 15 minutes. So I imagine that we're going to see the checker flag this time by. And there it is, your checkered flag. Your winner, Isaiah Gill.
And then we see the final transfer spot goes to Dylan Redding. TJ Floyd, Alan Warnecki, Colton Kinsey, Dave Wright, Colin Willems, Greg Fronek, James F. Moore, Sylvan Seguin, all eliminated. But if one of those cars were your favorite driver, stay with us, as we're going to have some more awesome racing action coming up.
So before we show the, this is the first heat results right here. While we're waiting for everybody to get on grid, we'll bring up our grid for the next race. It's going to look like this. Brett Merle on pole, Michael White in the 09 machine on the outside, Stephen Black, 98, he'll be rolling off third, Brian Merle Jr. in fourth, and Logan Hagerman will be rolling off in fifth.
Outside Logan, we got Mr. Brian Nudie starting sixth, Jackson Qualley seventh, with Stoney Benfield starting in the field. In eighth, got that 21 of Dustin Dean starting ninth, and then rounding out your top 10, got Derek Chaput in that 37 machine.
In the sixth row, you're going to have Max McClure and Mac Knights. Outside of them, just behind them, Michael Lawrence, Will Cloud, and Mike Rentz Jr. are going to make out the 15 cars in this field tonight. So,
wow. I don't know which heat race is more star-studded, this one or the previous one. Both have some pretty good drivers.
yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see how this works out here. Is that 98 machine of Stephen Black? He's hungry. As the last couple of races he's been running in, he has dominated the races, but doesn't have the finish. Devin Bacino on Facebook says, "Look at that hashtag yellow fellow." I like it.
Nice. But yeah, Stephen Black has had a lot of heartbreak recently, so we'll see if he can maybe break through with the heat race win and then maybe a race win.
I mean, even though it's a heat race, that little getting the monkey off your back and getting in the victory lane, it can mean a lot. So we'll have to see
And
how.
also points are given here in this heat race.
Yeah,
in the heat races.
you've got the one playoff point for winning the heat, and then you've got the top 5 getting 10 through 5 points. So that'll be important for any chance of these guys on the bubbles as pace car pulls off. Brett Merle's going to lead him to the line. Green flag is in the air. You see that 6 get a great jump on the 09 as Michael White's trying to fight back on the outside. Here comes Brian Nudie around the way high side.
Wow.
A little 3-wide
Side
racing.
by side.
Yeah, a little 3-wide racing behind. Nudie's going to look at Nudie making that high side work. He gets around Hagerman here. And I thought he was going to actually get to the outside of Brian Merle here, which he does
He's
now.
out there.
See Dustin Dean also working that high side, catches the wall just a little bit.
Oh, the 74 around.
All by himself. Yellow is out.
Uh-oh.
There's actually a couple incidents in here as well, as we're going to watch the 74 again go around, but right behind him, it looked like I don't know if it was Dustin Dean or somebody else right there. We're going to take a look here.
Dean.
Yeah, we're going to take a look from the blimp here because there was a couple people having some issues here. As you see, the 74 goes around Dustin Dean up into the wall.
Yeah, there was no contact between Nudie. At first, I thought maybe Nudie might have made a little bit of contact, but there was no contact between the 40 and the 74.
Yep, this did not bring out a yellow, but Matt Knights gets down on the apron and just loses it all by himself there.
Oh, no. What? No.
Yep, didn't really happen in front of anybody, so it doesn't bring out the yellow. As Brett Merle is going to be your still your leader here.
Wow.
We'll take a look at the race info real quick while we're under yellow. Richmond's just under a 3/4 mile track, 0.72. Tonight, temperature 70 degrees. 68 degrees. The track temperature 70 degrees. So, nice cool track tonight. 57% humidity. Light wind, 2 miles an hour. Ain't gonna affect the vehicles too much tonight, but nice cool night. These trucks should have a lot of grip, but as we've seen, the setup seems to be pretty loose for most of these guys.
Right now, the weather in Richmond, Virginia is, I always like to compare it. It's 10 degrees less than what it is now. It's very foggy, right? Humidity 90%. Actually, we have Carol Walt Knights saying go 38. So there's a shout out for Matt Knights. He's in 12th spot, trying to get that final transfer spot, get up there.
And he's got a lot of damage to the front of that vehicle as well, so surprised he didn't go in to get that fixed up, but you can't really give up track position when you have people wrecking in front of you. So he's trying to get up into that that transfer spot. Michael Lawrence right behind him. That's a pretty sweet looking paint job right there. Very brightly colored. You can't miss that one. As we're getting ready to re-rack them and restart here as the pace car is going to pull off on the pit road. We got this wide angle view here, and here goes Brett Merle on the great jump on the outside. Green flags in the air. Brian Nudi's going to come along right with him. He's going to get around Michael White as they come into turns 1 and 2 right here.
Ooh, getting a great run on the bottom is the 09 of Michael White, but Nudi gets clear of the 09. We see the 98 of Stephen Black look lower under the 09.
And the yellow flag is back out.
Uh-oh. Mike Rentz Jr. getting a little incident.
Is that what brought out the yellow?
Yep. Mike Rentz Jr. just got loose off exit of 2.
So we'll, just all by himself. Just spins the truck right around. A little contact from Michael Lawrence as well. Oh, then he thought he had it saved and ends up going back around. So now Brian Nudi's got a chance at a good restart here to try to get around Brett Merle.
See Mike Rentz Jr. going on to pit road. Get that damage all fixed up.
Just got a message from that boy Drew. Says, let's go 98.
Oh, that's Stephen Black. He's in the top 5. Got a chance to win this thing. Been very competitive so far.
Right now, as it sits, our transfer spot is Stoney Benfield. With Dustin Dean right in front of him, and Jackson Qualley and Max McClure looking on in at the moment. Derek Chaput sitting back in 10.
Okay. Coco Melon car.
Yeah, Blake Hensley won last night. He was gave a shout out to Ski, and I had to ask him what Ski was, and I guess it's a soda pop that you guys have down south that I don't know about.
Never heard of what?
Ski.
Ski. Yeah. What in the world?
It's a lemon lime soda pop from Kentucky.
Well, I will say that I do not call it soda pop. Oh. Like, I do actually think that until like this year, I've actually never heard someone call it pop before.
You know, it's amazing depending where you are in the country what they call it. Like, I call it soda. You know, some people call it pop. There are places like Colorado and Oklahoma where they just call it cola. Everything's cola.
It's cola. Some people call it carbonated beverage.
Yep. Overseas in Britain, they just call it fizzy drink.
Fizzy drink. I like it.
But they also spell tires with a Y and curbs with a K, so.
Let us know what you call soda on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Want to hear it?
As Brett Merle picks that outside lane on the restart again. Brian Nudi to the inside. Pace car's off. Green flag's back in the air.
Oh, looks like we saw some contact between Michael White and Nudie. Just got into the back of Brian Nudie, and that's going to put Michael White a little bit behind.
And here comes Stephen Black on that high side, trying to work around Nudie. And they're running side by side, and Yellow is back out. No, Yellow's not out. We just have a big wreck, though.
If they can get it all cleaned up before the leaders come around.
Now the Yellow's out.
Matt Knight's getting involved. Man, see what happened.
Oops.
Ooh, cheeseburger.
All right, so here we go with the replay, and it looks like Matt Knight's.
Cheeseburger just comes up in them.
Oh. Try that again. Matt Knight's gets caught. Yep, that's exactly what happens. He's the 47 pushes up the track. Matt. Oh, the 47 got loose. And I think overcorrected. Yeah, and oh man, that was a hard hit for see one car on his side, the 91 there. It's Mike Rentz Jr. Let's
oh my gosh.
We're actually going to take a look at this from above just to see how loose.
That was real life. I would have been worried for Matt Knight's.
Oh yeah, just that 47 gets real loose there, and hard hit into that awkward area. And you know that saying, if there's a weird angle for a car to hit, it will hit it.
Looked like it hurt for Mr. Knights. He goes on to pit road. Of course, I don't know how it feels to run in straight into a concrete wall, but
I'd imagine it doesn't feel too good.
No, it doesn't.
Because there's no safer barrier down there, was there?
It's just the concrete wall.
You know what kind of racing has really weird angles and spots, or anytime they set up a temporary road course. If you guys didn't hear the announcement today, iRacing and NASCAR have come together
to do the Chicago Street Circuit?
On a project for the Chicago Street Circuit that they'd like to actually run the Cup cars on. So iRacing has sent a team out to Chicago last October, and they actually shut down the streets and scanned a street circuit in downtown Chicago.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
And the track is already ready to go. That's a lot of readies, isn't it? And the first race of the iRacing Pro Invitational will be held on the Chicago streets. So that's pretty cool. And then I believe that's going to be released to the public next build.
Wow. And I believe the Pro Invitational race was tonight, this Wednesday.
Yeah, I believe you're right. So I think that's why they made the announcement today. So we'll have to check that out, and if you haven't already. So for some people it's new news, some people it's old news.
And I actually have the results. Turn off and come back if you don't want to hear it. But William Byron wins the first race at Bristol. What a surprise.
So here we go. We're going to re-rack them. Lights on the pace car are off. We're going to go back to some green flag racing here. Yeah, we're going to have about 4 minutes or 11 laps, whichever happens first. As Brett Merle really stacks up the field here. Green flag in the air.
Yep.
Stephen Black now underneath Dustin Dean.
Side by side. Dustin Dean gets a good run on the outside, gets clear of Stephen Black. So does Michael White, getting a good run on the outside as well.
But more importantly than this race, this battle back here, the 75 is Stoey Benfield under pressure right now, as that is the transfer spot, that 75 right now. So he's doing everything he can to stay ahead of the 48 of Will Cloud Jr. and Max McClure right behind him. Also, here comes Brian Merle Jr. trying to get up there as well, as time is starting to run out for this transfer spot. As they were just
Stoney
3 wide
Benfield
back
is
here.
increasing the gap.
Yeah, they were just 3 wide. Max McClure now turning up the heat. He's on the outside trying to make something happen. He's starting to catch Stoney. But so isn't the 74 of Brian Merle Jr. Michael White under attack by Brian Nudie right now. These are just for regular points too, because 4th and 5th place will be receiving points. So that's going to be a point difference right there as the 9 gets up into the wall. That's going to allow Hagerman to get down underneath as well. Side-by-side battle down the front stretch.
Ooh, wow, what a battle between these three. And we see Jackson Qualley peeking in as well to this battle.
Yep, as Jackson, we go back.
Getting thrown.
Yeah, we move back just behind Jackson. We see the 75 and the 74 going at it, trying to get that last transfer spot. As right now, Brian Merle Jr. is outside looking in. And here comes Max McClure trying to get to the inside of Merle Jr. Oh, a little loose. Jackson gets a little loose there off the corner right in front of these guys. And here comes Merle down to the bottom, and he's going to put the bumper to the Stoney.
Here comes Max McClure, gets a great run on the outside, and he just leaves both those two in the dust. Oh no, Jackson Qualley into the wall. That's going to give that transfer spot back to Stoney Benfield, but we see the 74, Brian Merle Jr. looking low. See some contact between those two, trading paint.
Yeah, the 74 is trying to do everything he can, use that bumper. As there it is, the bump and run right there for the transfer position. But here comes Jackson back on the outside. This is a great battle right here between these two.
Wow.
And Merle is doing everything. He's definitely giving the chrome horn back there.
Oh, the contact, Derek Chaput. And cautions out. We see some contact between Derek Chaput and Jackson Qualley. Ouch.
And we saw Jackson have some major issues there as he was really, really loose. Coming off the corner, as we'll take a look here and see exactly what happened to that young man.
Ooh.
So as he's coming off the corner,
Yeah,
gets loose, catches the wall, tries to correct it, gets some contact from the 37.
It actually looks, there was no contact between the 17 and the 37. If you look at it from a different angle.
But that's going to be your finish as we have reached our time limit. And Brett Merle is going to be the heat winner.
Stoney Benfield gets the final transfer spot.
Benny Field does get this final transfer spot. So as we take a look at the results of heat number 2. Brett Merle, Stephen Black, Dustin Dean, Brian Nudie, Michael White, Logan Hagerman, Max McClure, and Stoney Benfield all move on to the feature.
Wow.
So now we'll look at the grid for your B main, your consolation race to get into the feature. See TJ Floyd. Yep, the 4 moving on. TJ Floyd on pole. Brian Merle Jr. outside of him. Alan Warnecki, Derek Chaput, and Colton Kinsey are going to make up the top 5.
Then we got 6th place, got Matt Knights. 7th, Dave Wright, with 8th place being Michael Lawrence. 9th will be Colin Willems, and then outside of him in 10th, got Mr. Will Clout Jr.
Yep. Then Greg Froelich, Jackson Qualley, James F. Moore, Michael Renz, and Sylvan Seguin are going to make up the field here in this B main. And I believe this B main is only going to be 10 laps, if I am correct.
Looks like it. No, it looks like it's going to be 15.
Is it going to be 15 as well?
Yep. But again, there is the time limit.
Which we saw last race, last 2 races. And none of the races have gone the full scheduled distance. And I don't know, there might be a little bit of desperation here to try to get into this final. I know the admins are going to be watching real close to make sure that there's no intentional wreck in here to mess anybody up. Nick Mather says, Colin, let's go. Or go, Colin, go, excuse me. As Colin does need a good finish here to move on to the feature. Now, fortunately for Colin, Colin does have a win. So his playoff hopes aren't resting on this race. But Brian Merle Jr. Let's see, is Michael White here? Nope, but Brian Merle Jr. This is a desperation race for him. He's on the bubble right now. He needs to be able to qualify for the feature to get points.
It's true.
As the pace car takes the hard left-hand turn, TJ Floyd is your control car. Green flag's in the air. And TJ gets a great jump. That whole bottom lane, it looks like Merle was laying back a little too much here. And that's going to allow Alan Warnecki to move up into that second spot. And Colton Kinsey in third. Here comes Colin Willems, though. Colin already making some aggressive moves, already up 2 positions. And we're not even done with the first lap as he's looking to the outside David Wright right now.
Oh, the 37 around!
Yellow flag is out. We'll see exactly what happened to Derek Chaput right there. As it looks like he just had an issue all by himself. Just hits the gas just a little bit too hard. Stays in the gas though, gets the truck spun down to the infield, where nobody else makes contact, so. So Colin Willems already up 4 spots into that 5th position.
Wow.
So yeah, some great racing already. Trying to get up to the through this consolation race and make the big race. That's what everybody wants to do, is make sure they lock themselves into that feature.
And there's going to be more where that came from. It's going to be a hard-fought race for sure.
And I'm going to apologize and look back on our scoring here. It looks like Colin Willems is back into the 8th position.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure what happened there. Do apologize for our ticker. Decided it wanted to stop working. But the lap count is correct, so we'll leave that up at the top of the box there so we can at least see that. Coralie Mather says, let's go, Colin, with the checkered flag. You know, right now for him, a 4th place finish would probably feel like a win for him to get into the feature.
Yeah, that's for sure. He's in 8th right now. See if he can get up there.
As the lights on the pace car are still on. Looks like we're trying to get things sorted out here. We'll be re-racking them next time by to bring you back to green flag racing. Cassie Willems also says, let's go 18.
Man, Colin Willems has an entire cheering section.
Yep, the Colin crew is here.
Yep, he's always had people cheering for him all throughout this season. I mean, he's a good racer.
He is a great racer. Had to think of something to call him, so I'm just going to call him the Colin crew.
The Colin crew, there you go. Got the Mullet Mafia.
I was going to say, that's what I was going to say. Ain't nothing like the Mullet Mafia, but you got the Colin crew representing for sure. I'll have to have him come up with a name for his fans here.
Yep.
As TJ Floyd decides to take the bottom for the restart here. We saw previously them all taking the top for the restart, but TJ's going to take the bottom here. And he mashes the gas immediately. Green flag back in the air. Warnecki already to the inside of Brian Merle Jr. And right behind him, Matt Knights and Colton Kinsey making
Oh
some
my
contact.
gosh. Matt Knights. Oh, bumps. There goes the 4 around. Oh, big pile up on the back straightaway. Matt Knights making an aggressive move there.
I'm not really sure that was Matt making an aggressive move, more than Matt probably wasn't too happy with Colton Kinsey right there, because Colton kind of, we'll take a look here.
Ooh, let's
I
see.
like to play devil's advocate here a little bit, but it almost looks like Colton came down early into Matt.
Yeah, it does look a little bit like Matt might have been holding his line. Didn't come up the track any.
Yeah, and Colton comes down into the 38 there, to which I don't think the 38 was, Matt was very happy with getting that door slam right there. And as he comes off the corner, actually, I don't even think he did that intentionally. I think that was just Colton kind of turning down a little bit, and Derek Chaput gets a little piece of it as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we got to do these replays. It can change your point of view.
yep, I always say it. You've heard me say it before. There's always three sides to every wreck. You've got one guy's view, you've got another guy's
And
view,
then the
and
truth.
then the truth.
Yep. That is for sure.
So right now, sitting in that transfer spot is the 38 of Matt Knights. And again, I don't think Matt did anything wrong there, so I don't think he's going to get the EOL. I think he was just holding his line, and that was tough racing.
Looks like that might have been for last caution. Yeah, that was for last caution. Colton Kinsey was actually disqualified. Looks like.
Really?
Yes. Race control has officially disqualified the 4 of Colton Kinsey. So there you see him dropping down in the rankings.
Now we see Jackson Qualley on pit road.
I believe he was involved in that last incident.
Yep, he's rolling now. But TJ Floyd is still your leader.
Like Abiana Dixon says, let's go Colin, checkered flag emoji, 18.
That's a new name in the Collins crew.
Yep, normally it's Nick Mather, Corley Mather, Cassie Willems, and Abiana Dixon. The Colin crew. We're about to go back green here. TJ Floyd on the bottom. And then the Gills Pizza Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles car of Brian Merle Jr. on the top. One of my favorite paint schemes.
It's a neat one for sure, as we're going widescreen for this restart here. Pace car's off, and TJ Floyd immediately to the gas pedal. Right to the loud pedal. Oh, the 5 goes around. That was David Wright. Yellow is back out.
Uh-oh.
And
that's not good. In the grass.
That almost looked like he might have gilled it right there.
No.
I'm gonna have to take a look at this again.
Say it ain't so.
As
I
coming
watched
to
from the cockpit.
Yeah, he's coming from the start here, and yeah, he just loses on the restart. Colin Willems gets in the back of him, has nowheres to go.
Killed it. No. I don't believe it.
Yeah, we'll ride in the cockpit here, or we'll go on the roll bar. Let's see if we can hear the.
I'd look at his gearing. If there's a way to get that up.
He really didn't hit the red limiter or anything like that. I think he just got on a little too hard and.
Man.
But so we're right along here with TJ Floyd. That's pretty neat there. TJ's got on his helmet there His Twitch logo is Instagram logo. You can see that right there in the mirror.
Mm-hmm. Floyd Racer 49.
Whoops.
So after you're done watching this broadcast, make sure to check out his Twitch and his Insta.
Warnecki up into that third spot right now. Warnecki and Matt Knight's currently in your transfer positions. I know Matt did announce the race with me last night, so he kind of knew what to expect a little bit on this restart or on this race. Kind of saw how the heats played out and what position to put himself in. Abby Trudeau says, "Let's go, Devin." 68. Devin Buccino.
He's not in, so he's already in the feature.
You know, he's made himself into the feature. He's not racing at this moment, but he will be. You'll see him probably within the next 15, 20 minutes or so.
So stay with us here.
As the lights on the pace car have turned off.
Okay. We're going to have, again, TJ Floyd on the bottom and Brian Merle Jr. on the top. Matt Knights and Alan Warnecki behind them. Here we go.
Pace car takes that hard left-hand turn. TJ hits that loud pedal. We're back green flag racing, and Matt Knight's already underneath Brian Merle Jr. trying to take that second spot away from him.
Looks like Merle gets clear. Whoa, a 3 wide here at Richmond. Somebody spins behind them, and the caution comes out.
Big wreck behind. It looks like
Loud.
it looks like Michael Lawrence might have been in the start of that one, but we'll have to take a look here.
Ooh, saw some contact between Willems and Lawrence.
This actually happens a little further up than that, so bear with me while we get the... Yep, that's exactly what happened here is Michael Lawrence. Looks like he got a little bit of help here from the 18 of Colin Willems. The 48 involved, that's Will Cloud Jr., just nowheres to go, unfortunately for him. You see the 5 of David Wright involved as well. 17 of Jackson Qualley involved.
Ooh, Dave Wright?
Yeah, Dave Wright got involved in this. We'll ride along with Dave here. See exactly what Dave saw. And he saw smoke and nothing else as he piles in. And that new smoke model is really coming into play here, as you could not see anything through that.
Yeah, I've raced with the new smoke model for a couple of weeks now, and it is so hard to see through. And it especially came into play with the wreck fest that was the Iowa ARCA series at Irwindale. There was so much smoke.
Yeah, I experienced it yesterday in the Super Speedway Kings, as I was sitting towards the back, and there was a wreck on the backstretch right at the front of the field, and yeah, you can't see anything. You have nowheres to go. You're just kind of days of thunder in it, holding on for dear life, and
yeah,
just kind of aiming the car for where you think there might be nobody.
And then dirt is crazy as well with the dust.
That's pretty neat, and I really enjoy that when we're on the Dirt Dominator series on Thursday night. I know Atlee announces the double dirt on Thursday.
That'll be tomorrow.
Tomorrow, and I'll be racing there. And tomorrow, we are going to, I should know this, I think it's Limaland.
Limaland, okay. That's a good track.
If I remember correctly, let's take a look at the schedule there. And I am wrong. Lima Land is not till the end of the season. It will be Kokomo tomorrow.
Kokomo. All right. That's a pretty good track, Kokomo, Indiana.
Yep. And from Kokomo, we move to Eldora, Fairbury, Vuvuzela. Look at me. The dirt track at Charlotte, Lima Land, and then Lernier. So nice little schedule there. But next week here, we move to Talladega for the race before the playoffs, which will be interesting having that super speedway there. As we watching the pace car pull off and a very, very slow checkup. TJ on the gas, and that's really going to stack up that inside line. I don't know if the admins are going to like that restart at all, but he's got out to quite the lead here.
We see 72 of Warnecki. He looked outside of the 74.
While those guys are battling, Matt Knight's under attack from the 71, who pushes him up the track.
Caution is out.
No, race is over.
The checkered is my bad. And Matt Knights won't make it to the feature, and neither will Derek Chaput. Greg Froelich gets that final transfer spot, and Warnecki. And I believe Brian Merle Jr. and TJ Floyd make it into the feature. So now we're going to have a little bit of an extra warm-up before we go back green.
Yep, so we'll take a look at the final results of the consolation race here.
There you go. This will give us another opportunity to see who's fast here.
Yeah, and while it's just warm-up, you know what I like to do for warm-up here?
Crank it up. Pump up the intensity.
Yeah, let's pump it up. Guys are starting to finish up their warm-up here. They do have about 15 seconds left in their warm-up just to kind of feel out their cars, see how it's going to run for them.
Man, that pump up the intensity was awesome. My favorite part has to be that graphic interchange format. Pretty sweet. Pump it.
It's nice being able to have the fixed cameras here too, where we can run that. All right.
Here we go.
As we bring up your grid for your feature, all 20 cars here, as we see Isaiah Gill on pole, Brett Merle on the outside. In row 2, Joseph Wright, Stephen Black, and rounding out the top 5, Devin Buccino.
Here we go.
Dustin Dean, Eddie Morris, Brian Nudie, Michael Proval, and Michael White make up your top 10. We're going to have Zach McBride, Logan Hagerman.
Got Nick Ford 13th, Max McClure 14th, and then rounding out your top 15, got Mr. Dylan Redding, Stony Binfield 16th, TJ Floyd 17th.
Brian Merle Jr., Alan Warnecki, and Greg Froelich will be your top 20.
So here we go, 20 trucks, only one can win. And who will that be? Will it be Gil trying to get 2 in a row? Will it be someone that maybe already has a win? Could be someone who's looking for a win. Could be someone who's in the chase for the playoffs. And if they can get a win, that'll definitely help, as we are only 2 races left before the playoffs.
Yep, this race and next week at Talladega. So it'll be exciting to see who can make the race, if we have a surprise winner to move themselves into the playoffs, like we saw last night in the Cup Series.
And you love the surprise winners. It's pretty good. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I tend to root for the underdog, so it'll be interesting to see exactly who can make their way into the race, into the playoffs.
We've already seen that. We've seen who's been able to make their way into the race. We've got our 20. Let's see what happens. Here we go.
Yeah, as we come down the backstretch, 2x2, getting ready for our feature. "70 laps here at Richmond International Speedway." The pace car pulls off. Isaiah Gill leads them to the starting zone. Green flag's in the air. We're racing in our feature. But Brett Merle gets a great jump here off Isaiah Gill. And Isaiah's got that better run on the inside. And Joseph Wright and Stephen Black battling side by side as well.
Again, looking at that battle for the lead. It's like Gil gets a little bit of a good run on the bottom. Oh! He gets loose.
Oh, Nick Ford.
Nick Ford, what in the world?
Yellow is
Man.
out. We'll have to see exactly what happened there. And
He gilded, except for it wasn't on a start or restart. It was during the race. Dang it! He gets loose off of 4, goes right into the grass, becomes a lawnmower, and then Nick Ford runs right into that lawnmower or dump truck.
Yep, you see him just losing it all by himself there, and not really sure what happened to Nick Ford. If Nick got tagged from behind or not.
I'd watch from his perspective.
Looks like Nick just lost off the corner as well. Almost the exact same way and exact same spot that Isaiah did. So.
Yep. Wow.
Maybe
interesting.
Can't have oil on the track because iRacing hasn't implemented that yet, but.
That would be pretty cool to see. Got Nick Ford and Isaiah Gill, who both were involved in that previous incident, on pit road right now. Getting that damage fixed.
Isaiah does have quite a bit of damage. And Atlee, do you know if these guys have 1 reset or 2 resets tonight?
I am not sure. Now, I can actually find that out. So, bear with me. I'll get that up. Try to find out how many resets, because that would be pretty good to know.
So I think they have 4 sets of tires tonight as well, or maybe 3 sets of tires.
So again, getting that up. Let's see. your leaks.
So as Adley's looking that up, we'll
I can't
remind you.
see it.
Oh, it'd be right on the info page on the iRacing UI.
Oh, shoot. Right. Oh, gosh.
It's all right. Got a rookie in the booth with me tonight. It's all good. As we're going to be getting ready to go back green flag
About
racing
one
here.
fast repair.
One fast repair. All right. And how many sets of tires? Is it just 3?
We do have...
Just had a message come across Twitch. J14CM7. Not really sure who that is, but it says Classic Gill. Classic Ford. I love it.
There you go. Yep, I'm pretty sure. No, it's unlimited set of tires.
Unlimited tires tonight. Interesting. So we're going ready to go back green flag racing here. As Stephen Black to the inside and Brett Merle takes it outside lane, gets a great restart.
And side by side for third, Dustin Dean and Joseph Wright. Dean moves into the third position. See Buccino looking under Brian Nudie, the yellow fellow. Ooh, Joseph Wright tags the wall there.
Yeah, just barely. He's under pressure right now from Nudie as well. While that's going on, Brett Merle is just starting to check out on the field.
Yep.
He's already
almost got it to 0.5.
Yeah.
Maybe Stephen Black can reel him in.
Joseph Wright's struggling on that high side because here comes Michael Provolt now to the inside. And that truck's starting to fall like a rock as the City 09 of Michael White just catch the wall. He's just bouncing off the wall a moment ago. He's able to keep it straight as he's under pressure right now from Dylan Redding.
Man, rare occurrence when their talents unite, but when they do it, it's spectacular. That is for sure J14CM7. It is a very spectacular occurrence, almost like fireworks.
Speaking of fireworks, here comes Stephen Black, already catching Brett Merle and putting some pressure on him right now.
Great run. Looks low, under that 6 machine. Got about to the rear quarter panel.
It looks like he got a little loose.
Caution.
I was going to say, it looks like he got a little loose, but caution is out.
Brian Merle Jr. Wait. See someone spin in front. That's Provolt. Oh, we see some contact between the 09 Michael White and the 95 of Michael Provolt, and you'll see what happens here on the wreckage replay.
Actually, I think it starts a little before that because the, whoops, my mistake, hit the wrong button. Please hold. So it looks like it actually happened a little bit in front of that as Michael Provolt and the 3 make a little bit of contact in front of the 09 of Michael White, and Michael White has nowheres to go and just runs into the back of Provolt. Those two synchronized spinning here right in front of Logan Hagerman, who catches a piece, and Dylan Redding as well.
And there we see TJ Floyd and Brian Merle Jr. turning into lawnmowers going through the infield grass.
Off in the
That'll
John
help out the grounds crew.
Yep, off in the John Deere country as everybody's coming. Oh, no, not everybody. Michael Provolt on pit road. Looks like Nick Ford, Stoney Benfield, and Logan Hagerman on pit road, as Logan, I know, had quite a bit of damage on that machine. See, we got to look at the from the chase here. See if he got. Looks like he's just gonna sit there and get it fixed as opposed to using that reset, which I think is a smart move. I like that move myself.
Here he goes.
Because it doesn't look like he's got any front end damage. It looks like all his damage is on the back. So as long as you don't have front end damage, you aren't gonna hurt that radiator at all, and you'll be all right.
Yep, aerodynamics don't play as big of a role as, say, Daytona or Talladega, maybe at a half mile, like Auto Club or Kansas or Charlotte. Short track. I've seen cars win with cars or trucks that look like a modified.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna see when you come to a short track.
I've seen cars cross the finish line on their lids. Of course, we did see the 2020 Busch Clash where Eric Jones looked like a hot mess crossing the finish line with Denny Hamlin pushing him.
Yep. Dean Qualley says on Facebook, "Let's go Cyclone Racing."
Cyclone Racing includes Coney Moore, Noah Walter, Stephen Black, Stoney Benfield, and Sylvan Seguin.
Unfortunately, I believe only Stoney and Stephen Black made the feature.
Dang. See where both of those are.
Well, Stephen Black is sitting in second, and Stoney is sitting back in 18th. As we're getting ready to go green flag racing again.
Yep, Stephen Black starting on the bottom here on this restart. Speaking of him, got Brett Merle on the top. You see the yellow fellow as well. So we're back green here, side by side for second place. Devin Buccino, Stephen Black. Ooh.
Yes, we just realized Cody Moore was not in the race. As Dustin Dean almost gets into the back of Stephen Black there.
Man.
As you see, Devin Buccino on that high side, really giving Stephen Black a workout here. And while those two are racing side by side as hard as they are, it's allowing Brett Merle just to run away.
And it's also allowing Dustin Dean to get right up to the back bumper of those two. And Joseph Wright is also catching up to the party as well. Side by side, we saw Nudie and Michael White make some contact. Gosh, these two have stayed side by side for a while now, 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, that's really going to eat up their tires. As you can see, Brett Merle now up to a 3/4 second lead. And Dustin Dean right behind him. I think he's a little bit faster in both of them, but has nowheres to go.
What's he gonna do? Buccino gets a little bit of a better run compared to Stephen Black on the outside, but they stay side by side for the most part.
And Joseph Wright now coming back into this picture as well.
He's gonna try to look below the 21 of Dustin Dean. And the 68 is clear.
Yep. And also into this picture here right behind Joe, Brian Nudie starting to come into the picture.
Let's see. Here goes Joe looking low. Trying to get under Dustin Dean. Field pretty. Oh, we do see a battle for 7th place. Logan Hagerman and Michael White trading some paint side by side. Logan Hagerman does have some damage. on that back end of the machine as we saw him not take a reset.
Oh, Joe Wright just got really loose off the corner there. And side by side again for second place is Stephen Black and Devin Buccino going at it hard.
And they're actually catching up to Brett Merle a little bit. Here goes Stephen Black looking under the 6 of Brett Merle.
I think Brett might have just wore his tires right off too early because he was putting down some good laps there.
He was. There goes Stephen Black right into the top spot. Brett Merle in second now. We see Dustin Dean looking under Brett for second. Buccino's there as well. Can't quite get by the 6. We see Nudie looking under the 68 of Devin Buccino.
We were talking about Brett Merle a few minutes ago checking out. Here comes Stephen Black now. He's checking out. As his lead is increasing as these guys are racing as hard as they are. These guys are running. Buccino up into the wall.
That's going to hurt him tremendously.
It doesn't look like it affected the truck too much, but it definitely slowed down his momentum as now Joseph Wright's working to the inside of the 68 machine. You saw Brian Merle Jr. bounce off the wall. He was sliding all over the place, but he's able to keep it going in the right direction. Here comes Buccino now underneath Joe Wright.
From second to Buccino, it's just a huge cluster of cars. See side by side for fourth. See Joe Wright, Dustin Dean.
And Stephen Black is now pulled out to a second, almost a 2-second lead. Oh, Dustin Dean real loose.
Oh no, that's gonna hurt him a lot. Loses a ton of track.
Oh,
position.
3 wide and the 09 is around. That's Michael
Caution's
White.
out.
That's going to bring out a wreckage replay. We'll see. I saw they were 3 wide, and then I saw the 09 going around out of the corner of my eye. That looks like Michael Lawrence and the 72 of Alan Wernicke. 3 wide into the corner, and that's never going to work here. Not on tires this old.
We do see some pretty nauseating netcode between the 74 and the 09.
That's going to put Michael White up into the wall. Doesn't look like too much damage for him. Looks like he'll be able to get going, not a problem. But everybody comes down on the pit road. Everybody but Buccino on the pit road.
Interesting strategy choice by the 68 of Devin Buccino.
Also just saw Dean Qualley said, also the legend Greg Froelich is going to have a solid run. Keep it up there, buddy. But yeah, I'm curious of this call by Buccino because you mentioned earlier they have unlimited sets of tires.
That is true.
So why wouldn't you go in and take tires, especially if your tires are as old as his are? As we take a look at the pit strategy here, his tires are 31 laps old. Everybody else is going to be on fresh tires, actually 32 laps as they come across the line. Everybody else is going to be on fresh tires as, yeah, dead man walking for sure, as we see on Twitch here in the chat. Yeah, I'm questioning the call tremendously right now.
I don't know what to say. This is crazy. They're gonna fly right. Unless something crazy happens, I'm pretty sure everybody behind them are just gonna fly right by the 68.
Because if I look at the last couple lap times for Buccino, the ones that count are the 23.2, the 23.2, the 23.2. His fastest lap is a 22.1. That's a second faster on fresh tires.
Yep, they're just gonna fly right by him. There goes Stephen Black to the bottom. See Nick Ford barely inching off a pit road without getting lapped. See J14 CM7 says bold move for sure. We'll see if it pays off, or will blow up right in his face. We shall see.
Well, for sure, we're going to be using the wide camera view for this restart so we can get all the action throughout the field on this restart, as I imagine we're going to see some wildness as Devin Buccino leads him to the line on that outside lane. Green flag back in the air. He fires off and fires off well, but here comes Stephen Black on those fresh tires already trying to make something happen. And Nudie to the inside and Dustin Dean as this is all going on right there.
Oh!
TJ Floyd with a big wiggle.
And there goes Stephen Black looking below Buccino.
And now that they're up to speed, you'll see the big speed difference here.
Yep, once they're side by side. There he goes. New leader, Stephen Black.
And right behind him, we're 3
Caution.
wide.
Michael, wait.
Stoney Benfield.
Dang. Check that out. See what happened.
If we can see exactly what happened here. As we see Stoney down on that bottom lane. Yep. And it looks like Michael White. Yep, Michael White just gets into the back of him and spins him right around, and everybody else is able to avoid him. Warnecki, here comes Nick Ford avoiding him. Now, if you're Buccino, you got to come in here and get tires.
Oh, of course. I don't know why you wouldn't. Yep, there he goes. 68 onto pit road. So Dustin Dean goes onto pit road. Oh, no, he faked it. So did Isaiah Gill.
But now,
Warnecki.
Yep. See, Warnecki, Nick Floyd, Michael White, Stoney Benfield all on pit road. Stoney's probably going to get some damage fixed. It looks like Buccino's got a little bit of damage on that right rear as well. But when it comes down to it, it's all about those tires.
For sure. We're just going to do some pace laps.
It looks like a bold move, but it looks like a bold move that really didn't work for him because, man, you just went from the lead to, looks like he's going to get off a pit road. Actually, he's still on pit road, so I think he's getting some damage fixed. Yep, here he goes rolling off a pit road right now. Right in front of the field, so I think he was trying to get a little bit of damage fixed there.
Well, we're under caution. Oh, I'm going to read off the iRacing information for Richmond Raceway. Here we go. Is Richmond Raceway America's longest short track or its shortest super speedway? Either way you look at it, Richmond embodies the characteristics of both and is a rocket-fast challenge to every driver who competes on the 3/4 mile oval. Racers from NASCAR, IndyCar, and USAC have found that Richmond requires both power and handling. To win here, you've got to have it all. Auto racing in Richmond launched in 1946 at the Atlantic Rural Expeditions half-mile dirt track as part of the AAA Championship car season, which was the first car racing following World War II. 4 track configurations later, today's Richmond Raceway features 55,000 grandstands and premium seats, a new $30 million infield, which will open in fall of 2018. It is now currently open. And the only NASCAR venue where all of the racing action is held under the lights, which is awesome, as we are under the lights right now.
As the pace car is getting ready to pull off, we're going to go back green flag racing.
Yo,
and Stephen
green
Black
flag is back out.
Stephen Black fires off well here. Brett Merle under attack from the 21 of Dustin Dean on the outside. Here comes Nudie and Gill side by side for third and fourth, or fourth and fifth, excuse me.
Dustin Dean can get up there to Stephen Black. J14 CM7 said it himself. The only thing that can stop Stephen Black tonight is Dustin Dean's bumper. That's for sure. See, Isaiah Gill, where did he come from? That has been a name that we have not said all race. He got in an early incident, has stayed in the back, and here he is emerging. For the first time in a while.
And that's 6 of Brett Merle. Now he's on fresh tires, but he's in dirty air, and he's getting passed now by Brian Nudie.
Yep, dirty air can definitely mess up your truck.
Well, here comes Gill to the inside, as I heard somebody have some issues in the back here.
Oh, Dustin Dean tags the wall.
Looks like Nick Ford and Stoney Benfield just had an issue, as you see the smoke on track. But nothing, no caution, as we work lap coming to 45 of 70 here.
It's coming down here.
Just 26 laps to go.
It's go time.
As Isaiah Gill underneath Dustin Dean here. And Brett Merle has passed Brian Nudie and is now trying to work on these two in front as well. As you see Dustin Dean get that launch off the high side to get back around Isaiah Gill.
There goes Merle looking low. Almost there. Nope. Dean tags the wall, and that's just going to send Isaiah Gill right by. Merle looking low. Set up that pass on the 21 of Dustin Dean.
While that's going on, Stephen Black has just checked out.
Almost to a 1 second lead over the rest of these drivers. There it is, officially at 1 second. Wow.
So you see the battle box down there showing exactly where these guys are on the track. Ryan Trudeau says, let's go DevDog 68. Devin Pacino currently sitting back in the 11th spot. Having a good battle back here with Dylan Redding, TJ Floyd, and Greg Froelich.
If you remember earlier, Devin Buccino made the bold move to stay out and lost a ton of track position because of that decision, so he's making his way up. Oh my gosh.
TJ Floyd hard into the back of the 11, and then he got a little loose. We're 3 wide now. Al Warnecki to the bottom side, trying to get a 2-for-1 deal. He's going to slide up the track a little bit. Looks like he's
again.
Still 3 wide, and right behind him you see Eddie Morris cautiously just hanging out there, seeing this little contact between the 68 and the 72. As Buccino's going to come up ahead, and here comes TJ Floyd back into the mix as well. Oh, TJ in the back of Warnecki.
The bumper. Oh, there goes the 68 around.
And that's going to bring out the yellow. Oh, the 75, Stoney Benfield.
Stoney Benfield.
I think he was just checking up and got run over. Is this going to bring out or bring up our wreckage replay? Let's see if we can see exactly what happened.
So we saw the 49 give the 72 a little boost, but was that the entire story? Let's see.
Well, we're going to take it back just a little bit here. As we see the 49, the 72 just gets down into the corner a little bit too hard and hits Buccino. And I think Stoney Benfield, I think he was just checking up for the wreck. It might have got run over from behind here.
He's got McClure.
Yeah, Max just Max just ran in the back of him by mistake. And Michael Provolt gets a little piece of it as well.
We got a bunch of people on the pit road, pretty much the entire field, except for Greg Froelich and Michael White. Those two stay out. Again, we have unlimited sets of tires. We got Ryan Trudeau saying, Dev is a tank. Dev always comes back. We'll see if he can come back from that. And we only do have 17 to go, so it's going to be pretty hard. But we will see.
So we see the race off of pit road here. Looks like a great race off of pit road, but looks like Brett Merle is going to be your winner off of pit road here. Isaiah Gill, Stephen Black, Joseph Wright, Dustin Dean. Let's take a look at the pit strategy. We'll see where everybody came in and came off. Well, no, I take that back. Those positions are from where they from when they started.
Here goes the 75 of Stoney Binfield. I believe he is getting his lap back. Yep. He's the lucky dog.
So looking at these pit lane times here, Atlee, I think Brett Merle may have only taken 2 tires. Because his pit lane tire time on pit lane from start to finish was 41.6. Isaiah Gill 46.9. Stephen Black 48.
Yeah, he definitely took 2.
I think Joe Wright took 2 as well because he had a 43.9. So we'll have to see
strategy.
If some strategy here.
Interesting. Now there is a little Easter egg here at Richmond. Some people, you have to look pretty hard for it, but here at Richmond, there's actually a Viking like poster that sometimes appears.
A Viking poster.
You can see when you're loading in, you can actually see it. It's hung on the flag stand.
Interesting.
So next time you're loading in for a Richmond race, look out for it. It's kind of like there's another track on iRacing with spiders.
That is actually that's really there. If you go to Barber Motorsports Park, they have a art museum that's part of the track, and they have metal spiders and insects, and that's actually really at the track if you go there.
Wow.
Fun facts. As the field rolls into turn 3. Green flag's back in the air.
Here we go. Side by side for a second, Michael White and Isaiah Gill. We see Gill starting to catch up to Froelich as well. But first he's got to get, we see the 74 of Brian Merle Jr.'s around. Caution's out.
And that actually started a little bit ahead of Brian Merle Jr. That actually started with, I believe, Dustin Dean getting really, really loose off the corner. You'll see Dustin on the bottom left of the screen here. I don't know if we'll see him. Yeah, I see how loose he gets. That checks up.
The 49 of TJ Floyd as well.
Yeah, but that causes Brian Newty to have to check up for Dustin Dean. And actually, let's do this. We're going to take a ride along with Newty so we can see exactly what he saw. Let's take a look from the nose here and watch that green car. The moment he has right there. That
nose.
Yeah.
Yep, so there goes Dustin Dean around. It's loose, and then Merle just a pretty bad situation altogether. J14 CM7 says the wreck already happened on this restart. What do I win? Well, I don't know. Give yourself a pat on the back. Oh, yep, free Pelican snowballs. That could be a prize for sure.
Again, we thank you for watching, all 22 of you out there. Don't forget, if you're not already liked, followed, and subscribed, please do so. We're what's the count now, Atlee? Do you know?
The count for Facebook for followers?
Yes.
All right, so right now on Facebook, we are currently at, let's get this up here, 1,078. So we are nearing 1,100, so 1,100. So make sure to drop a follow on Facebook if you haven't already. On Facebook and Twitch and YouTube, as we're still on the road to 1,000 on Twitch and YouTube. And also check us out on Twitter if you haven't already. It's a good thing to listen to when you're on the commute and stuff. Make sure to check out the Intensity Broadcasting podcast. We just had one most recently released yesterday with Mr. Brian Nudie as the guest, and that was a very, very fun interview. Don't want to miss it, so make sure to check out the Intensity Broadcasting podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from. And also, you can watch the podcast. You can see our faces on YouTube and Facebook.
As we just got a message from Dean Qualley, go get it, Fronik. Send it, buddy. As Fronik is sitting out there, he's going to take the high side on this restart.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Gill to the inside. Michael White, Brett Merle, Dustin Dean, Stephen Black, Brian Nudie, Joe Wright, Devin Buccino, and Michael Provolt make out your top 10. As the lights on the pace car are off, we're going to re-rack them. These guys are already trying to wreck under caution.
Come on. We're 3 wide between Michael White, Merle, and Dustin Dean. You're under pace. They just get your, good gosh, this is crazy. Okay, but we're back green here.
Oh!
Oh, the 09! I knew that 3 wide was going to be a terrible situation. Ow.
No caution.
No caution, right. I guess he spun onto pit road, which is away from the track, so. Oh, but then we see Merle and somebody else get into it, into the wall.
Joe Wright, heavy damage.
Uh-oh.
No caution, though, but up front, Greg Fronik and Isaiah Gill going at it hard. Isaiah's going to take that lead away. Right behind him, Dustin Dean and Brian Nudie stalking him. Here comes Dustin Dean to the inside of Fronik.
Here we go.
As we come to 5. Oh, Dustin Dean gets turned.
Goodness. Come on. Caution's out. Gosh. 3 wide is never a good, or you're almost 3 wide. Good gosh. Man. Check out that wreckage replay.
Yeah, it looks
there
like
goes Isaac Gill in a wild ride.
Isaiah's made a couple of our wreckage replays now. So here is what happened as we look from the blimp here, and Fronik pinching tight on Dustin Dean, not giving him an inch. And, as they come off the corner, it looks like Dustin might have pushed up just a little bit into the side of the 71. That's going to put them both into the wall. Brian Nudie, unfortunately, is going to get a piece of it.
That might have been some net code between the 21 and 40.
No, that looked like just contact.
Okay.
Yeah, that was definitely contact. It was too close for net code to be called on that one. As
No, they eventually.
Logan Hagerman doing a great job getting around the chicane of the 21. And looks like the 3 of Zach McBride caught up in this one as well. The fortunate thing for that yellow coming out, though, is it allowed Joseph Wright to get in and get his reset done. So he's got a
Mm-hmm.
brand new truck. Um, let's take a look exactly what happened there.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested to see what happened.
See if I can find out exactly where the.
Well, it started. We saw that first wreck on the restart with Michael White. And while he was spinning, Joseph Wright had nowhere to go, just ran right into the 09.
So up front, you got Isaiah Gill, Stephen Black, Devin Buccino sneaking up into that third spot. So Ryan Trudeau saying Devin's going to be back. Well, here he comes up into the third spot already. Michael Provolt and how about TJ Floyd sitting back in fifth right now? Biggest mover of the race, up 12 spots.
Devin always comes back. It's like Dean Qualley says, well, now let's go. Cyclone Racing, Stephen Black for the win. I got a good feeling. I don't know. We shall see what happens to Stephen Black. Can he get by Gill?
Well, I think Stephen Black's got a really good chance, and the only reason I'm saying that is he hasn't dominated the race.
Yeah, whenever he dominates it, something always goes wrong. But it's going to be pretty hard to get by Isaiah Gill, considering that he is a dump truck. The width of a dump truck is about 19 inches, with the length being about 8'6".
Depends on the dump truck. If you got one of those big excavators that they use in like the diamond
Right.
mines and stuff.
I don't know. We might have to ask, what kind of dump truck is Isaiah Gill?
Well, he's from Gill's dump truck, so those are the fastest dump trucks for sure. So
In the Northwest, BOGO 40.
as the lights on the pace car off, we're re-racking them, getting ready for another restart here. Looks like a much better lineup this time. As the pace car pulls off, Isaiah Gill mashes the loud pedal, green flag back in the air. Stephen Black and Devin Buccino side by side into turn number one.
And they're battling it with only a little bit left.
Two laps to go.
What's going to happen here? Stephen Black gets by Devin Buccino. Now he's going to try to track down Gill. Can Isaiah Gill make it 2 in a row here in the iOS Truck Series? We'll find out. Final lap.
As they come off of turn number two, Black gets a little wiggle there.
He's going to try to dive it in. No.
But it's
Isaiah Gill makes it 2 in a row here in the iOS Truck Series, gets the win at Richmond. Impressive.
yeah, Stephen Black and Devin Buccino round out your top three. TJ Floyd, impressive run up into the fourth spot. And Michael Provolt finishing in fifth.
Another heartbreak, though, for Stephen Black. That guy can't catch a break.
So we take a look at your finishings, your order here. That's the consolation race. Let's try this again. Feature.
There we go.
There we go.
As we see Burnout in the background. Very nice burnout. Josh will take us through our finishing results.
Yep. So Michael Proval in fifth, as I mentioned. Max McClure comes back for sixth. Joseph Wright back up to the seventh spot after having that hard rate ending there. And then eighth is going to see Michael White, Logan Hagerman, and Greg Fronick. Rounding out your top 10, Dustin Dean 11th, Eddie Morris 12th, Brian Nudie in the 13th spot, Zach McBride, Brian Merle Jr., and Brett Merle, your lead lap cars. Then Stoney Benfield, Dylan Redding, Alan Warnecki, and Nick Ford rounding out the field. As we know, Nick was unfortunately had to park it for the night. But it doesn't matter for right now to anybody but Isaiah Gill, because he's the one who brings it home in first. Call me Danny says, well, hello there. Thank you, Danny, for joining us here on Intensity Broadcasting, as we're going to be interviewing our top three here.
Got Buccino in the waiting room.
Devin, you got Josh Natley in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. How you doing, guys?
Hey, man, congratulations on the podium finish tonight. That was a incredible run. A couple questions we had at the beginning of the race when you stayed out when everybody else went in, but you were able still able to come home in that third spot. How'd the race go for you? And what was the call on that strategy there at the beginning?
Yeah, I can't really speak too much on that. It was a bad call on my end. I thought they did a good job. I thought they were going to fake out at the end, and it was too late to come down. We were so tight coming on the pit road at that point. I couldn't come down, but we had a really strong truck. I mean, this was the first laps I've ever turned at Richmond in the truck, and we qualified well, ran well in our heat, and somehow came back to a third place finish. I had no idea, but very fortunate to survive all the wrecks at the end and get another podium. It feels like we have things rolling right now.
I mean, I gotta ask, coming into that final green-white checkered, I mean, what was going through your head coming there?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't really want to restart on the bottom, but for having to restart on the bottom, it was honestly the best case for the worst case scenario, being able to sort of be behind the control car. And we were fighting side by side with Steven, and I knew that there was no way we'd get it done if we raced side by side. So I let him go on top, fell in the third, and was hoping to catch up to him and rough him up a little bit. And I might be able to squeeze by, but congratulations to Isaiah. He ran a good race after doing it. That'll surely be on wreckage replay next week. But yeah, no, it's just thankful to come away with another podium.
Wow, you know us too well. And before I ask you who you want to thank, I do want to say that you had quite the rooting squad on Facebook tonight between, I believe it was Amy and Ryan Trudeau. So anybody else you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank New Craft Fine Brewery and Design. If you're in the Murfreesboro, Tennessee area, any custom pizza jewelry that you can imagine, they can get it done for you. Pelican Snowballs, the National MS Society, nationalmssociety.org to donate. Mommy and Me Registry, less than 10% of the states offer maternity leave support, and this helps with that. It's comparable to a honeymoon fund. You can add it to your baby shower registry, etc. All the guys at Carolina Sin, you guys at Intensity, and another page out of Dustin Dean's book, my smoking hot girlfriend, for rooting me on with her brother in the Facebook chat today. So
awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the third place finish. And where were you sitting in the points, or you're not running for points in this series?
I am, yeah. Thankfully, we were able to win Daytona, so we're locked in. I think we came in fourth, but I'm sure things will get pretty tight after Colin missing tonight. So I'm definitely excited to see what the points look like after the.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Thank you.
Now we're going to pull in our second place finisher, Stephen Black. Stephen, Josh Natley in the booth. You got us?
I do, Josh.
Hey, I know it's not a win, but after the last couple weeks of tough luck, it's nice to have a nice solid finish tonight. How did the race go from your point of view?
Just a lot of slow tire saving. It's hard to pass on the bottom. If you're not the leader on the restart, then you're kind of screwed. But yeah, we managed to wait for people to burn up their tires early, and then we pulled out and to a pretty decent lead before the yellow came out, and I just didn't have enough green flag laps to show I was the best truck on the track tonight. So it works out like that. But congrats to Isaiah.
I mean, I gotta ask. Coming into this race, I know you had a strategy. How did it change throughout this race? And I mean,
I think my strategy for every race is just to save my stuff a little bit, and hopefully we get a long run. But I got to change something because it's not working for me. So
Yeah, I know the last couple races, some of the tough luck really hasn't been your fault. I know the spin as you were coming in the pit road at Pocono put you out there, and I think it's just confident boost for you now, just being able to have a solid finish. And anybody you'd like to thank tonight for the solid second place?
yeah, shout out to everyone watching. Shout out to you guys for broadcasting. Shout out to Cody Moore. He was spotting me a little bit in the Cyclone channel. So shout out to my teammates. I know they all had a little bit of a rough night, not with the heats, with Jackson not making it, and Sylvan and Stoney had a rough race. But overall, I'm pretty happy with my run. So.
And last question before we let you go, next week's Talladega, you looking forward to it or not so much?
I'm gonna throw out the window, Josh.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the second place finish. I'm sure we'll talk to you again.
Thank you.
That was Stephen Black, our second place finisher. And now your winner, Isaiah Gill. Isaiah, you got Josh and Atlee in the booth. You got us?
Yeah.
Man, congratulations on the win. We saw you have I hate to say it, the restart issue at the beginning of the race. You kind of, well, not really on the restart, but on the first lap, it looks like you had some tire spin there. Able to drive it back, spin to win, back to the lead, and the win. How did you do it?
Well, I felt like I had the car to beat the whole night. I mean, that truck was on wheels. But if you didn't know, Canuti was actually leaking oil before the race. So the turn 4 was not me. It was Canuti. And I just lost it and happened to use my fast repair. And I'm already in the playoffs. So I drove like it was Gill's plow service instead of dump truck service. So, that's how I got up there.
man, I gotta ask. How does it feel? You've got 2 wins in a row here in the iOS Truck Series.
Yeah, it feels great. I just wanted to get a few wins before I go into the luck-based race next week.
So I take it you're not looking forward to Talladega next week.
No, not at all. Anything over a mile is not my cup of tea.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations. Anybody you want to thank tonight?
Of course, I'd like to thank Intensity for everything they do. One of the greatest broadcasts of all time. I thank TJ Floyd for strategy and Gil's Dump Truck and Canuti.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations. Next week's the crapshoot, sort of say the unknown, and with the 2 wins, you're locked in, so you really don't have to worry about it at all. So, I know that's a
Yeah.
lot of pressure off you right there, and but hey, maybe you'll have a good show, and maybe you'll be able to learn something next week and get up there and have 3 in a row.
Yeah, for sure. Probably won't be talking to you guys next week, but love to tune in.
Congratulations. We'll talk to you again.
Thank you.
Well, Atlee, we saw a little bit of everything tonight. I mean, the heat racing, something new, something unique with these guys tonight. It was fun. Unfortunately, a couple guys missing the race who normally make the race. I mean, heartbreak for guys like Colin Willems, Jackson Qualley. Some of those guys who just did not make it into the Matt Knights. Yeah, I mean he probably got the worst of it because he was qualified in and he pretty much brought out the yellow to end it and not make it in. So tough race for him, but we move on next week to Talladega, which, like I said, is a crapshoot. It's kind of the luck of the draw there, and it's anybody's race. I'm looking forward to it personally, because being the super speedway guy I am.
Now, I do want to say happy Thursday to our East Coast viewers, as this officially in 3, 2, 1 clock strikes midnight. So happy Thursday to our East Coast viewers. Have we ever had a broadcast that's gone till midnight?
I'm not sure. I don't think we have. So this is a first for us. Um, I like it. I know it's past your bedtime, but no, I'm kidding.
There's no such thing as a bedtime.
But no, awesome race all around. Really glad to see Isaiah get the 2 in the row. And nice to see Stephen Black's luck turn around a little bit too, and Devin Buccino having a great run. So as we move on next week to Talladega, Natalie, you want to add anything and take it home?
Well, thank you everyone for watching the broadcast here on Intensity Broadcasting. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as we are on the road to 2,000 followers on Facebook and 1,000 followers still on Twitch and YouTube. So make sure to drop a follow. I think we can reach all three of those goals as a iRacing and racing community. So make sure to do that. And then also check us out on Twitter, as we are on the road to 50 followers on Twitter. Love interacting with the fans, always asking questions. So if you want to join in on some of the fun on Twitter, make sure to drop a follow. I'm at Liat Manweeks on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Over and out.